So there's a very good chance that I have now become a hermit. And I think it's all due to work from home. So about 2021, no, summer of 2020, I was, piece of dust flew in my nose. So around summer of 2020, I decided to take the leap and leave the automotive industry. I had been in it for 11 years, 11 plus years. And so, like, 2009, 2010, somewhere right around there. And I made a huge leap. Completely left the automotive industry. It's what I knew. It's what I had made the most amount of money ever working at any job ever. And not only did I leave it, I left it for a temp job, essentially. Not essentially, it was a temp job. Like, it had like a beginning and an expiration date, which was like wild because I had the opportunity to do this exact same thing maybe 8 months before, maybe a year before. And I was like, I can't risk, doing this temp job, having it end, and then we just not having that second income. That just wasn't a thing. And now is even more like, nowadays that's a big deal too, even more so. But the advantage of it was two things. One, I got into a company that I've been trying to get into, and the other one was that it was work from home. Now, I had previously done work from home during 2020 and actually was furloughed for a while. Got to spend some time with the family. It was actually not a terrible experience, but I also got to work from home for a little bit because automotive industry was like one of the first people back to work during that time because of if people had a car breakdown, they needed to get to work. If they were EMTs or medical workers, that was just something they had to have, to get to work. So we went back fairly early, but it was very limited people back into office. So I got to experience a little taste of work from home. It was great. So when I had the opportunity to do this temp job and work from home, I thought, okay, well, let me just bust my butt and just keep it going. And I did. So I pushed, I pushed, and I eventually got a different position within the company that was also remote at the time. Most of the company was remote. Then they started doing a slow kind of reintroduction back to the office, which most places did at that point. I think once the big major tech companies started doing it, everyone kind of followed suit. And I luckily got to stay remote. Then I decided to flip to another position and got that, which was fully remote. And that's where I am now. Had the job for 2 years now. And I mean, I don't even have an office to go to anymore. I think I have an office, but I don't have a desk or anything like that anymore. But previously, I had a desk and whatnot, a space if I wanted to go in or if I had to go in. Now I don't even have that. In fact, they closed that whole building down and put it in with another building because space. So it's been a couple of years now. I really enjoy the work, but I have now discovered or realized that I think I'm a hermit. I mean, obviously, I have a family, have the kids. We do things on the weekend, but like during the week, I leave to drop my daughter off at school and pick her up from one of the grandparents' house to move her to the other grandparents' house. I'm not in charge of shopping anymore because I spend too much money, which will that's some topic for another video. But I don't leave the house except for on the weekends, and even then, sometimes I don't leave the house. Luckily, I kind of am a homebody, I guess, is maybe the best way to put that. But I started to realize like I needed to get out of the house. Not so much as like my wife, she has to get out of the house. Like I can stay in the house for like a couple, maybe 2 weeks without really leaving. Going outside, of course, but not leaving the house or the property, which again, maybe I'm a hermit. I don't know. Like it's like what defines a hermit? I meant to look this up before I started recording this, and I kind of forgot. So I don't have the definition of hermit right here in front of me or in here because I didn't look it up. But I think I'm kind of a hermit. Like I don't leave the house that much, and my son's a homebody. My daughter would rather do anything other than be home, and my wife's very similar like that. She wants to go out and do things, and I do too. But I just end up staying at home a lot. So we've got like the standing desk, the walking pad, another way to stay indoors and at home instead of like on my lunch break going out and walking. But I walk more because I have a walking pad. So there's some trade offs there. So yeah, it's just I think I'm a hermit. So recently, since I have come to this revelation, I've been trying to figure out how to best get out of that. We're going to call it a shell because, hermit crab, shell. I think that kind of goes together. Some things that I've tried to do is start getting a little bit more involved in yard work, like keeping up with the grass, which I don't fully understand, but I am starting to. Again, another topic for another day. We got our e-bikes back out. So now if I want to go on a lunch and get outside, get some fresh air, maybe run into town and grab like lunch or something like that, I can ride the e-bike down and it takes 12 minutes. It's just as fast or faster to ride the e-bike down if the weather's nice. The weather's been terrible. We actually got a spring this year, which is very rare for where we live. Lately, or the past couple of years, it's been just like winter, summer, 32 degrees, 80 degrees. But we've been in this like 50, 60 rainy kind of spring for a little while now, which we kind of got used to not having it. So, but the grass looks nice and everything's green, so that's kind of cool. I haven't seen green in quite some time since probably August of last year, September of last year. But anyways, trying to get out on the e-bikes more. I just ordered a pair of rollerblades because I'm bringing that back, mainly because we started ice skating, my daughter and I. And during the summer, apparently all the indoor rinks stop having open skate, which I don't understand. And I think it's because of summer programs and training camps and things like that. So they need the ice. But even some of the ones that have like 4 rinks, like they ended beginning of this month was the last time they had open skate. So that was a real bummer. So to keep us up, to keep us active, and to keep our skills relatively similar to when it comes back up in October, I think, we're going to start rollerblading. She has a pair. I sold my pair a very long time ago. My wife and I got a pair, and she fell once, and they collected dust the rest of the time. So we still have hers. I sold mine at a garage sale a couple years ago, but now I'm going back out and buying some. Found a really good pair that were like rollerblade brand, $110 off. Perfect deal. Got the okay to buy them, and they are currently being shipped here. So that'll be a new hobby that'll add to the hobby list for sure. And also, once the weather gets nice, I think we're going to end up doing more like outdoor picnics, going to try to at least. We're trying to go back to the playgrounds more, although there's been some weird incidents with like seeing sketchy people at the playgrounds. So if we see that, we kind of just like leave to go to the next one. I think that happened once or twice now this year. Just because like if you're in a bad situation or you're in a situation where you're just like having to constantly like keep an eye on some weird stranger person, then you probably just shouldn't be there. So we removed ourselves from the situation and did something else. That weekend was a huge bust because we went to Walmart and after that the fire alarm went off, which scared my daughter and really bothered my son's ears. And then we went somewhere else too that was like closed or something happened. I mean, we couldn't find what we were looking for. I don't know. We ended up going like 3 different places that weekend. It was a huge bust, but just trying to get out more. So I'm trying to kind of break out of that shell. Still kind of a homebody at this point, just because we've got three cars, and I'm still trying to get through all the gas out of all three cars to put new gas in it and fresh gas. Just got all the cars uh, inspected, registrations updated, had their services. Still got to get the real old car in, but I think I'm going to push that off a little bit longer because that's the summer car. That one needs an oil change, tune up, and an inspection, which I'm pretty sure it's going to fail this year. So I got to brace myself for buying new tires for it, which I am somebody who used to always buy used tires. I now buy only new and decent to good tires. I used to buy the cheapest thing ever, and I've started to learn as I get older, like, tires matter. Like, cars have traction control, they have all these things to keep them on the ground. But if the rubber sucks, then it doesn't really do much and you still fly off the road. So, have really great rubber on it now. Summer tires, going to replace it with that. But they're low enough now where I'm pretty sure they won't pass inspection. I only drive the car like 1,000 miles a year, so I don't know. But that's another thing. Now, this time of year, what I can do is I can hop in that car and drive it around the lake. It's about a 45-minute to an hour drive, and it's kind of nice just to get out, get some fresh air, listen to music. I love listening to music, which kind of makes me just decompress. I can sit there in the beach or out in the sun on the deck and just like listen to music, and it's nice and calming. So, those are some of the things that I'm trying to do, going to put in place, going to do, I guess, to kind of overcome this hermit shell that I'm currently growing. And I don't know, maybe I'll revisit this towards the tail end of summer and see if I'm getting out more. Uh, Obviously, I'll be more tan at that point because I'll be outside a bunch. Um, but yeah, I think I think that's a good plan to break out of this shell that I've currently built for myself. I don't know, trying.